Tiny bodies, unstoppable souls. These 10 micro machines are about to completely destroy everything you thought you knew about off-road power. From a 49-day military miracle to a twin-engine desert conqueror, the smallest vehicles ever built have left the biggest marks in automotive history. Smash that like button, subscribe for more incredible automotive history, and share this with every car lover you know before we dive in. Number 10. Messerschmitt KR200. Bavarian aircraft manufacturer Messerschmitt produced one of the most extraordinary and recognizable micro vehicles ever to emerge from post-war German engineering. Former aircraft designer Fritz Fend originally conceived this machine as an affordable personal mobility solution for disabled war veterans returning to civilian life. Its unmistakable tandem seating arrangement and fighter aircraft-style canopy reflected Fend's deep aviation background and genuinely unconventional approach to vehicle design. Production commenced in 1955 at the Regensburg facility, continuing until 1964, when approximately 40,000 units had been delivered to eager customers. Stretching just 112 inches in length, this bubble-shaped microcar ranked among the most compact enclosed personal vehicles ever offered to civilian consumers. Tandem seating placed the driver and a single passenger in line rather than side by side, dramatically reducing overall vehicle width to just 48 inches. Handlebar steering, rather than a conventional wheel, further reinforced its distinctly aviation-inspired character and set it completely apart from every competing microcar. Suspension engineering borrowed concepts directly from aircraft landing gear design, providing surprisingly competent ride quality across varied and unpredictable road surfaces. Export markets across Europe, North America, and Australia embraced this distinctive machine, introducing international audiences to Bavaria's most audacious post-war engineering achievement. Messerschmitt eventually returned to full aircraft production following the lifting of post-war manufacturing restrictions, bringing civilian vehicle production to a permanent conclusion. Collector demand for surviving examples has grown dramatically in recent decades, with pristine units regularly commanding extraordinary prices at prestigious international auction events. Daring, distinctive, and defiantly unconventional, this remarkable Bavarian microcar secured its permanent place among the most celebrated small vehicles in automotive history. Number 9. Tempo Hanseat. Hamburg-based manufacturer Vidal & Sohn introduced one of the most practical and cleverly engineered micro-delivery vehicles in post-war German history. Developed during a period when devastated German cities urgently required affordable and dependable small commercial vehicles to restart essential trade and commerce. Its three-wheeled configuration kept manufacturing costs remarkably low while providing sufficient stability for daily urban delivery operations across heavily damaged post-war streets. Production began in 1949 and continued through the mid-1950s, serving thousands of small businesses desperately rebuilding operations across northern German cities. Measuring just 110 inches in length, this compact three-wheeler carried surprisingly generous cargo loads relative to its extraordinarily modest exterior dimensions. Its single-cylinder two-stroke engine delivered just enough power to navigate steep, cobblestone streets, narrow alleyways, and challenging urban delivery environments efficiently. Forward cab positioning gave drivers exceptional visibility, while simultaneously maximizing available cargo space behind the single front-mounted driving position. Sliding cabin access allowed drivers to enter and exit rapidly during frequent stops, significantly improving delivery efficiency across dense urban commercial districts. Butchers, bakers, newspaper distributors, and postal services across Hamburg and beyond relied heavily on fleets for essential daily delivery operations. Tempo eventually transitioned toward larger 3- and 4-wheeled commercial vehicles, gradually phasing out this beloved little machine as market demands evolved. Surviving examples are extraordinarily scarce today, making well-preserved units genuinely prized discoveries within European vintage commercial vehicle collector communities. Unassuming yet historically vital, this compact Hamburg creation played a quietly heroic role in rebuilding everyday commercial life across post-war northern Germany. Number 8. Glass Goggomobil. Bavarian industrialist Hans Glas introduced one of the most charming and historically significant micro-vehicles in post post-war European automotive history. Designed during a period when ordinary German families desperately needed affordable personal transportation to rebuild their lives after devastating wartime destruction. Engineers at the Dingolfing factory created a vehicle so remarkably small yet genuinely practical that public demand immediately exceeded initial production expectations. Production commenced in 1955 and continued successfully until 1969, during which approximately 214,313 units were carefully assembled for eager customers. Measuring just 104 inches in length, this tiny machine remains among the most compact four-wheeled passenger vehicles ever offered for public sale. Its two-stroke engine ranged from 247 cc to 392 cc across various models, delivering modest yet perfectly adequate performance for urban and suburban driving. Distinctive styling featured smooth, rounded bodywork that gave this miniature machine considerably more visual sophistication than its extremely modest price suggested. Independent suspension on all four corners delivered surprisingly comfortable ride quality across cobblestone streets and imperfect rural roads throughout German countryside. Working-class German families embraced this affordable machine enthusiastically, viewing ownership as a genuine symbol of post-war economic recovery and personal progress. Volkswagen's eventual acquisition of Hans Glas GmbH in 1966 gradually redirected production resources, ultimately bringing this beloved microcar's manufacturing run to conclusion. Collector communities spanning multiple continents actively pursue well-preserved examples, with fully restored units commanding growing respect at international vintage vehicle gatherings. Humble in origin, yet mighty in cultural significance, this tiny Bavarian machine captured the hearts of an entire generation, rebuilding their lives from nothing. Number 7. Bondbug. British manufacturer. Reliant produced one of the most visually striking and unconventional small vehicles ever to reach public roads in 1970. Legendary automotive designer Tom Caron of Ogle Design created its distinctive wedge-shaped body that instantly captured attention at every public appearance. Its striking bright orange exterior was initially the only color available, making every single unit on British roads immediately and unmistakably identifiable. Production continued at the Stafford manufacturing facility until 1974, with approximately 2,270 units assembled across its relatively brief commercial lifespan. Measuring just 118 inches in length, this three-wheeled machine represented one of the most compact personal vehicles available to British consumers. Three-wheeled configuration allowed registration as a motorcycle in Britain, significantly reducing licensing costs and making ownership accessible to younger, budget-conscious drivers. A single lifting canopy replaced conventional doors entirely, requiring occupants to climb across rather than step directly into their seats. Fuel consumption remained extraordinarily low, allowing owners to cover remarkable distances on minimal budget during Britain's increasingly fuel-conscious early 1970s period. Motorsport communities quickly recognized its competitive potential, and racing variants appeared at circuits across Britain shortly after initial civilian production began. Television appearances and magazine features kept public curiosity alive long after dealership availability became increasingly scarce across British automotive retail networks. Surviving examples have developed remarkably passionate collector followings, with pristine original units now regularly appearing at specialist British vehicle auctions. Boldly designed, defiantly unconventional, and unmistakably British, this tiny, three-wheeled machine secured a permanent and celebrated place in automotive cultural history. Number 6. Citroën. 2CV Sahara. French manufacturer. Citroën created one of the most ingenious and unconventional small off-road vehicles ever conceived during 1958. Engineers faced a unique challenge transforming an ultra-lightweight economy car into a genuine desert and wilderness-capable machine. Rather than redesigning from scratch, Citroën's brilliant solution involved fitting a second engine beneath the rear cargo area. This extraordinary twin-engine configuration gave each axle its own independent power source, creating effective four-wheel drive without a traditional drivetrain. Rarity combined with mechanical ingenuity has since transformed surviving examples into among the most coveted French vehicles in collector circles. Measuring just 141 inches in length, this machine carried two separate 425 cubic centimeters air-cooled engines producing roughly 12 horsepower each. Both engines could operate simultaneously for maximum traction or independently when fuel conservation across remote desert landscapes became necessary. Separate fuel tanks supplied each engine independently, allowing operators to manage consumption strategically during extremely long wilderness expeditions. Ground clearance was modest yet sufficient for navigating sandy desert floors, rocky outcroppings, and the unpaved colonial roads of North Africa. Simplicity remained central to its engineering philosophy, ensuring field repairs remained manageable, even hundreds of miles from professional mechanical assistance. French petroleum companies operating across Algerian Sahara regions adopted fleets for surveying and supply operations across remote desert territories. Agricultural cooperatives and rural communities across North Africa valued its ability to access farms and villages beyond conventional vehicle reach. Automotive historians consistently celebrate this vehicle as one of the most creative engineering solutions ever. Applied to small vehicle off-road capability, surviving examples command extraordinary prices at international auctions, with exceptional specimens regularly exceeding values, many times beyond original production costs. Unconventional, underpowered, yet utterly unstoppable, this remarkable little Citroën remains living proof that creative thinking conquers even the harshest terrain. Number 5. DKW Munger. German manufacturer, Auto Union introduced one of the most underrated compact military off-road vehicles in post-war automotive history. DKW engineers developed this machine specifically to meet West German Bundeswehr requirements for a lightweight and highly mobile reconnaissance vehicle. Its unusual name derived directly from its official designation, Mehrzweck Universal Geländewagen, meaning multi-purpose universal cross-country vehicle. Despite modest recognition outside military circles, this small German machine earned extraordinary respect among those who operated it professionally. Stretching just 141 inches in length, this vehicle packed genuine four-wheel drive capability into a remarkably tight and efficient package. Permanent four-wheel drive gave operators confident traction on mud, snow, sand, and rocky surfaces without requiring manual engagement procedures. Ground clearance was carefully calculated to handle battlefield obstacles, river crossings, and rough unpaved roads encountered during military field operations. Mechanical simplicity was prioritized throughout its design, ensuring field units could perform essential maintenance without specialized tools or technical expertise. West German Bundeswehr deployed thousands of units across various divisions, relying heavily on their compact size and mechanical dependability. Auto Union eventually evolved into Audi, leaving this remarkable little vehicle as a fascinating artifact from a pivotal period in German automotive history. Collector interest has grown considerably in recent decades, with fully restored examples now appearing regularly at prestigious European military vehicle exhibitions. Small enough to be overlooked, yet capable enough to be unforgettable, this compact German machine deserves far greater recognition than history has granted. Number 4. Goggomobil Transporter. Bavarian manufacturer Hans Glas GmbH introduced one of the most surprisingly capable micro-utility vehicles in post-war European history. Developed during a period when Germany desperately needed affordable and practical transportation solutions for rebuilding its war-damaged infrastructure, small traders, farmers, and craftsmen recognized its extraordinary potential for navigating narrow streets and rough, unpaved rural pathways. Production ran from 1957 to 1965, during which thousands of units found working homes across multiple European countries. Few post-war micro vehicles managed to balance genuine utility and extreme compactness as successfully as this clever Bavarian creation. Measuring an incredibly small 115 inches in length, it remains one of the most compact utility transporters ever manufactured. Its two-stroke engine displaced just 250 cubic centimeters to 400 cubic centimeters, yet delivered enough torque for surprisingly demanding light commercial applications, Sliding doors on both sides allowed remarkably easy loading and unloading even in extremely tight and confined working environments. Independent suspension on all four wheels gave it unexpectedly smooth performance across cobblestones, dirt roads, and uneven rural terrain. Every component was designed for straightforward maintenance, allowing small business owners to handle basic repairs without professional mechanical assistance. Butchers, bakers, postal services, and small retailers across Bavaria adopted fleets for daily urban and rural delivery operations. Volkswagen eventually acquired Hans Glas GmbH in 1966, effectively ending production of this remarkable and much-loved microtransporter. Surviving examples have steadily grown in collector appeal, with well-preserved units now commanding serious attention at European vintage vehicle auctions. Dedicated restoration communities across Germany, Austria, and beyond continue sourcing original parts and preserving remaining examples with remarkable devotion. Modest in appearance, but mighty in purpose, this tiny Bavarian workhorse earned a permanent place in micro-vehicle history. Number 3. Mini Moke. British Motor Corporation unveiled one of the most unconventional and instantly recognizable small vehicles in automotive history during 1964. Originally conceived as a lightweight military vehicle, designers drew inspiration directly from the iconic mini passenger car platform. British Army officials ultimately rejected it for frontline service, citing insufficient ground clearance for serious battlefield conditions. Rather than abandoning the project, BMC pivoted smartly and launched it successfully as a civilian utility and recreational vehicle. Few vehicles in history have managed to combine such minimal engineering with such maximum cultural impact and lasting recognition. Stretching just 120 inches in length, this open-topped machine was among the most stripped-down four-wheel vehicles ever sold. Its 848 cubic centimeters transversely mounted engine borrowed directly from the standard Mini, keeping manufacturing costs remarkably low and maintenance straightforward. Weighing an astonishing 1,300 pounds, it could navigate soft sand, rough tracks, and coastal terrain with surprising competence. Front-wheel drive gave it decent traction across varied surfaces, though later Australian versions received improvements for more demanding conditions. Canvas roof options were available, but most operators preferred completely open configuration, embracing its deliberately basic and breezy character. Australian production began in 1966, where engineers upgraded specifications significantly to handle far more demanding outback terrain conditions. Caribbean resorts adopted fleets enthusiastically, and images of Moke's cruising island roads became symbols of carefree tropical leisure culture. Film productions and television crews frequently selected this vehicle for location shoots, cementing its status as a genuine pop culture icon. Celebrities, musicians, and artists across Europe and America embraced ownership, transforming a simple utility vehicle into a powerful fashion statement. Production officially concluded in 1993, yet passionate global communities continue restoring, racing, and celebrating this brilliantly unconventional little machine today. Number 2. Haflinger Steyr-Puch. Austria's Steyr-Daimler-Puch company introduced one of the most ingenious small off-road vehicles ever conceived in 1959. Born from a need for a compact utility vehicle, engineers created something far beyond ordinary transportation expectations. Military units, mountain rescue teams, and farmers across Europe immediately recognized its extraordinary potential for rugged work. Designed specifically for alpine terrain, this machine had to conquer steep gradients, loose gravel, and narrow mountain paths. Production continued until 1974, during which approximately 16,647 units were carefully assembled at the Austrian manufacturing facility. Named after the sure-footed Haflinger horse breed, this vehicle lived up to its namesake in every possible way. Measuring only 106 inches in length, it remains one of the most impressively compact four-wheel drive vehicles ever produced. Its air-cooled flat twin engine sat mounted at the rear, delivering reliable power across extraordinarily challenging mountain landscapes. Fully independent suspension on all four corners gave it remarkable articulation over rocks, roots, and uneven alpine surfaces. Weighing just 992 pounds, operators could maneuver this machine through spaces completely inaccessible to conventional utility vehicles. Portal axles were incorporated into its design, significantly increasing ground clearance without raising its overall compact body height. Every mechanical component was engineered for straightforward field maintenance, allowing repairs far from any professional workshop or garage. Several European armies adopted this vehicle for mountain warfare operations, where conventional military transport simply could not function. Swiss, Austrian, and German forces relied heavily on its capability to supply remote positions across impossible high-altitude terrain. Beyond military service, ski resorts and mountain rescue organizations deployed fleets across some of Europe's most demanding landscapes. Collectors worldwide now consider surviving examples among the most desirable vintage off-road vehicles available on auction markets. Restoration communities dedicated entirely to preserving these machines have grown significantly across Europe, North America, and Australia. Compact, capable, and cleverly engineered, this remarkable Austrian machine permanently changed expectations for what small off-road vehicles could achieve. Number 1. Bantam BRC Micro Jeep. American Bantam Car Company built one of the most remarkable small vehicles in automotive history. Located in Butler, Pennsylvania, this manufacturer received a critical contract from the U.S. Army in 1940. Military commanders needed a lightweight reconnaissance vehicle capable of surviving brutal battlefield conditions. Bantam engineers were given just 49 days to design, build, and deliver a fully working prototype. Weighing only 1840 pounds, this machine was extraordinarily compact for a serious military off-road vehicle. Every Jeep that has ever rolled off a production line can trace its roots directly back to this tiny machine. Measuring just 130 inches in length, this was one of the most compact four-wheel drive machines ever constructed. Its small 45 horsepower Continental engine delivered surprising performance through incredibly rough and unforgiving off-road terrain. Ground clearance was carefully engineered to allow crossing ditches, rocky surfaces, and muddy battlefield conditions. Despite its miniature size, soldiers used it to tow artillery, carry personnel, and haul critical military supplies. Four-wheel drive capability gave it exceptional traction on terrain that larger and heavier vehicles simply could not handle. Engineers managed to pack serious off-road performance into a frame so compact it barely looked battle-ready. Only around 2,675 Bantam BRC units were manufactured before larger production contracts moved to Willys and Ford. Both Willys and Ford carefully studied this prototype to develop and refine their own competing military versions. Military historians widely regard this vehicle as the machine that essentially launched the entire modern Jeep industry. Despite being overshadowed by Willys' MB production numbers, Bantam earned enormous respect among collectors and historians worldwide. Surviving examples are extraordinarily rare today and fetch very high prices at prestigious vintage vehicle auctions. Small in stature, but massive in impact, this groundbreaking machine proved tiny vehicles can leave powerful legacies. 10 tiny machines, 10 massive legacies, proof that extraordinary capability has absolutely nothing to do with size. If these micro off-road legends blew your mind, hit that like button, drop your favorite in the comments, and subscribe so you never miss another incredible automotive discovery. Every great journey starts small, and so did every single one of these remarkable machines that changed history forever.